All right, all right. So welcome everybody to marketing off social media or marketing beyond social media. Actually, I like that actually better. Doesn't really matter. It means the same thing. But here's the fun thing is that marketing, is we can do it online, we can do it offline. There isn't a wrong way. The important thing is to find a way that works for you. And so while I absolutely believe in having an online presence, I think it's really important in 2024 to have an online presence. It's important to also go beyond that and also have levers that you can pull that are offline as well, right? So if that sounds good to you, if that sounds like you want to learn more about marketing offline, just go ahead and pop yes in the chat. Go ahead and pop yes in the chat. Yeah. Trying to get to my notes here. I created all these great notes yesterday, and then I'm like, I think I did them on the other computer. So anyways, let me see if I can find these again. All right. So one of the things that when I look back on my business, by the way, for those of you that don't know me, or for those of you that are joining me for the first time, I'm Chris Williams. I support women who are building six-figure and multiple six-figure businesses that have a vision for that to create more impact in the world, change people's lives by sharing their gifts. Whether you're a health coach, whether you're a life coach, whether you're an energy worker, whether you have some sort of certification or experience in the wellness field, that's my jam. And so, I'm not a newbie coach here. I'm not a newbie entrepreneur. I have over 30 years of experience in the holistic business space, both online and offline. So I just want to share that with you because, sometimes people will have success doing one thing, but it's not sustainable or repeatable, right? And so what I'm teaching you is what I know absolutely positively works. How do I know? Because I've done it. And I've done it over and over and over and over again. And I've done it repeatedly. And I first started my business actually offline. So this is perfect. Like we're circling back around here, and I'm going to share some ways that I did that without even knowing that I was marketing, by the way. So woohoo, like it didn't feel weird or off or ick because I'm like, I just was doing this thing and I didn't even realize until later, oh, that was actually a marketing tactic or a marketing strategy. So while I don't like those words, I'm here to say that there are lots and lots of ways to create your vision. There's lots and lots of ways to create visibility and help people find you. And that is really what we are here to do today is how do we get your message? How do we get your services? How do we get more eyeballs on you? Because that is the key. We want more eyeballs. If we get more eyeballs on you, that means that people can find you. If we don't get eyeballs on you, that means that, people can't find you. And so that's just not the way that we can build a business. We have to market. So let me know below, what are some of the things that really frustrate you about marketing? I just want to kind of see what are some things that are happening out there for you that you feel are like really big challenges for you in the marketing industry right now so that I can make sure that I'm answering them today. So yeah, in the chat, go ahead and just pop that in. Let me know. What are some of the things that you feel frustrated with about trying to get your message out, about trying to attract clients to either have conversations with you or come into your ecosystem or something like that? Let me know. Okay, let me get to those chats. Too much work to write things. The stigma of trying to sell them something they don't want. Oh, that's a good one, right? Yeah. Okay, not being consistent, not feeling like you've got Facebook group engagement. Okay, keep them coming. Just putting the copy together. Yeah, it can feel like a lot. Yeah, yeah. Too much work. Yep, consistency. Okay, great. Yeah, consistency seems to be the big one. Now, is it consistency with you showing up to do the marketing, or is it consistency with having consistent clients, or both? Type both if it's both, and give me a number one if it's you, or a number two if it's wanting, them not showing up consistently. I'm just starting out, so no idea what will work. Okay, yes, absolutely, for sure, Heike, for sure, both. Okay, great. So consistency in showing up, and then also consistency in having those clients coming in on repeat. Yeah, okay, perfect. We're going to dive into that today. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you, and I'm going to give you some ways that you can actually do this so that you can make it simpler and in ways that are going to allow you to show up consistently. Okay. So I know that, when we're first starting our business, it feels like a lot, right? So I want you to just kind of take a look here on this pathway. And the first step is just kind of identify, where are you on this pathway? Where are you on the pathway in your marketing? Heike said she's just starting out. I have no idea what works, no idea what to do. So if that's you, I want you to pop in the chat starting. If that's you and you're just starting and you're like, yeah, I know I need to market and I don't know what works and I don't even know what to do. If you are posting on social media, like on Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest, but not consistently, and you're not really getting leads, like you might get some likes, you might get a few trickle followers here and there, but you're not really getting leads, let me know if that is you. So just type in SM for social media if you are posting, but you're not really doing so consistently. So you're not posting consistently, therefore you're also not getting leads. Okay. Number 3, you've got the basics down, right? You're on social media. You're probably posting on social media consistently. You probably have an email list, but you're not doing anything else and you're not getting enough new leads into your ecosystem. So if that is you, I want you to post new in the comment. If you feel like you've got the basics down and you're working with these 2 platforms already, either email and some other type of social media. Okay. And then the last piece is you have a plan, but you feel like you really need to up level it, right? Maybe you need to add more marketing levers offline so that you can attract better quality leads, right? And that's really important. The leads that we want to attract into our ecosystem, we want those to be people who are our heart yes clients. I know many of you here that work with me inside of Activate Abundance hear me talk about my heart yes client. Those are people that are actually looking for you. And so I'm going to spend just a brief moment talking about what's the difference. Because when we tend to market, especially when we're just starting, we're like, I don't know where to find people. And we just don't know, a lot of the basics for marketing. So here's the thing. When we take a look at our ecosystems, and our ecosystems are people that have their eyeballs on us, or where we're showing up, there's going to be about 30% of the people in your world right now that are actually what we call sidewalkers. They might like your posts, right? They might be hearting your posts. They might be commenting, but they're really not looking to solve a problem. Why? Because they don't feel like they really have a problem to solve. Okay. They're like, oh, that's so great. Or, oh, that post really resonated with me. Or, oh, that was so wonderful. But they don't even take it further than that, right? Like they don't download the freebie. They're not really engaging. They're not reaching out to you. They're not asking for support, right? That is someone who we say is a sidewalker. Okay. And so for those people, we actually tuck them in and we love on them and we want to know who they are, because those are actually the people that we don't want to market to. Okay. I know a lot of people out there get confused about who to market to, right? Who to share your message with. And we really don't want to take a look at the people who don't think that they have a problem, because they're not going to buy if they don't have a problem, right? Yeah. So 30% of the people are the sidewalkers, and we just tuck them in. We love on them. They can stay in our ecosystem until they're ready, until they decide, not you, until they decide that they're ready to actually do something about a problem. Now we talk about the slow lane. The slow lane, which is who we do want to share our message with, are 67%. Good news. There's 67% of the people in the world that are looking for a solution to the problem that you solve. I'm going to say that again. 67% are looking for a solution to the problem that you solve. That's really, really good news. Okay. Those are the people that we want to share a message with. Those are the people that we want to learn so much about. Like we know them like we'd like the back of our hand, that we're like, yep, this is my ideal client. This is the person who's looking for the solution. This is the problem she wants solved. This is the result that she wants. Okay. So before we even start marketing, there's some foundational pieces that we have to do in order for our marketing to be effective. Okay. I'm not going to cover that today because that's a whole nother shebang. I will cover that in Prosperous Holistic Business, and that's coming up at the end of August, and I will share that link with you. We'll dive into that. That's like a whole nother can of worms, right? Then we have the fast lane, and the fast lane are people that make up 3%. We add it up all together. That's 3% of the people that are ready to work with you right now. Okay, so there really are people that are ready to say, I'm ready to go. I want to work with you, but they need to find you. They need to find you. They've been looking, they haven't found what it is that they need, and they're ready to do something about it like right now. Okay, so, and many of those might also be in your warm market. Okay, many of those might be in where you already do have an experience with them, or they have an experience of you, they like you, they trust you. Here's the thing, they probably just haven't been invited into a conversation, or they don't know about enough about what it is that you do and how it is that you do it. Okay. And so that's really, really important, is that we make sure that when we are sharing our message, that we're adding in, what is it that you do? How can you do it? And how can you help them get results? Okay. So what is marketing? I just want to kind of, start here. What is marketing and how is it different from sales? Right? A lot of people think that marketing and sales is the same thing. It's not, it's totally different. Okay. Marketing is getting in front of your ideal client, your heart yes client, those clients that are in the slow lane and the fast lane, and sharing with them in some way, shape, or form the ways that you can help them solve their problem, and give them a way to actually take another step with you so that they can learn more about how you can help them. Okay. So marketing is getting in front of your heart yes client, sharing with them how you can help them solve their problem, and they have an interest. You're helping them take the next step so they can learn more. Okay, that's really important. Marketing is not just posting on Facebook once. Marketing is not just sharing something once. Marketing is a consistent process of being visible, and we want to be visible in ways that are consistent. So for those of you that are like, yep, I'm having a hard time being consistent, I get it. Chances are we just need to bring things into more of a simpler platform and make sure that you're going all in on 1, 2, or even just 3 ways to market consistently. No more than 3 when you're first starting out. Otherwise, you're going to make yourself crazy and you won't stay with things. One of those does need to be online. I really do firmly believe that in 2024, people are online. As a matter of fact, the most people are on Facebook and YouTube. That's where people go for information. And because you are holistic practitioners that are also sharing education and information, I recommend that you are at least have a presence on Facebook. Again, we'll cover that in Prosperous Holistic Business at the end of August, and I'll share that link for you if you guys want to learn more about that. All right. So sales, what's sales? Anybody want to come off mute and share what they think sales are? I'm just going to stop the share for just a minute. What do you think sales are? You can pop in the chat. What's sales? How is that different from marketing? And if you don't know, that's okay. Just put, I don't know. I don't know.
I would think sales is more at me trying to push you into buying a standard product, where marketing is trying to show you what you need.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. So marketing is showing up and sharing your message and giving value and nurturing, right? Here's what sales is. Sales is not necessarily pushing somebody. Sales is actually just an exchange. That's all it is. When you make a sale, you are simply making a soulful exchange. That's it. That's it. And yet we get so in our head here about sales, of sales needing to, that what sales is, oh, I got to convince you that you want this thing. Oh, I got to make you buy this thing. Oh, I got to close the deal, right? Like that is typically what we think of sales, right? In order for me to have this soulful transaction, there are actions that I need to do to make somebody become a client, right? And that's actually not what sales is. Sales is simply an exchange. It's just a soulful exchange. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's saying, hey, here I am. I'm here for you. I hear that you've got this problem. I'm supporting you. And if you would like my support, here's a way that I could share ways that I could support you. And then they decide yes. And there's just an exchange. There's an exchange of your energy, and they pay you with their energy, right? Money is just energy. So they're giving you energy, and in response, you're giving them that energy. Yeah. Sales is an exchange of enthusiasm. Ooh, I love that, Jennifer. Yeah. That sounds like a Kayla Get a quote. I don't know if it is or not, but it sounds like it. Yeah. Yeah. We're excited, right? Sales is they're excited because they know that they're going to get a result, and you're excited because you get to help somebody and you're bringing money in the bank. Yeah. So that's the difference between marketing and sales. Marketing are the things that you're doing to attract people into your ecosystem and nurture them, make sure that you're showing up in ways that are delivering value, getting in front of your ideal client. And then sales is just a soulful exchange. Yeah. So, all right, let's dive in now. By the way, does anybody have any questions about that? I promise you are going to walk away with at least 10, at least 10. I've got more than 10, but at least 10 ways to get in front of your ideal audience off of social media today. So, but if you have a question about that, hang on to that. Yeah. Yep, Naomi, perfect. Yep, sales is the payment for your service or product. Yep. Beautiful. All right, let's keep going then. Let me share my screen. All right, so why then is it non-negotiable? Why is it non-negotiable? Especially in 2024, when the market is up and down and kind of all over the place, you cannot have a successful business. I don't care what you're selling. I don't care if you're selling widgets or lemonade. You cannot have a profitable, successful business without marketing. It has to be a non-negotiable. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go so far as to say 50% of the time that you spend in your business is going to be marketing. And if that scares the crap out of you, don't let it, because honestly, marketing is not a bad word. Marketing is just, how can I share what it is that I do with somebody that needs it? Right? How can I share what it is that I do with somebody that needs it? So you don't have to look at it as, how am I going to market today? Right? That feels kind of gross, right? Like, I don't wake up in the morning going up, what am I going to do to market today? What I do is I wake up and I say, who am I going to serve today? Who do I get to serve today? How can I put my message out there so that I can serve the person that is looking for this, so that I can help solve their problem? And it has to be done. And here are, the reasons why we want to market consistently. So I'm going to give you 5 different reasons. The first one is you have to be able to differentiate your business. When you are sharing your message, when you are showing up in the world, when you're sharing what it is that you do, the problem that you solve, and how it is that you can help them, you are basically highlighting you and your unique selling points. Like, what is it that you do? Right? So like Betsy all of you are holistic practitioners, and yet all of you do something completely different, right? So if we just say, I'm a holistic practitioner, okay, like there's no differentiation there, right? If I just say, well, yeah, I'm an energy worker, there's no differentiation. So when we market, part of that marketing is, this is how I'm doing it a little bit different. Right? This is what is differentiating me. So, I work with women, I work with holistic women that are building and growing a 6-figure business. That's very different than saying, oh, I'm working with, a real estate agent that wants to build and grow their business, right? So when you're marketing, it's important, it's a non-negotiable, because people are looking for specialists. People are looking for specialists. I'm going to say that and kind of make sure that you guys underline that on number 1. People are looking for specialists, and that's what we're talking about with differentiation. If you had to have heart surgery, you wouldn't go to your family doctor, right? You would go to a specialist. You would go to somebody that is an expert in their field, that does, lots and lots of heart surgeries every single day. Your clients are looking for the same thing. And so it's important for you to claim your authority as an expert so that people can see, oh, Betsy's the girl for, Jenna's the woman for, Sharon's the woman for, right? So that people start equating you with the different way that you actually help people. Okay. And again, that comes back to messaging. Number 2, we have to educate our audience, right? We know things like the back of our hand, and we forget that 90% of the world doesn't know what it is that we know, right? We think it's common sense, right? And I'm going to give you an example of that. I remember when I first started building and growing my health coaching practice, and I was building my 6-week workshop. And I was like so mind blown that people didn't know that broccoli and vegetables and fruits were carbohydrates. I thought everybody knew that. They were like, oh, I don't eat carbs. I don't eat any bread. And I'm like, oh, do you eat veggies too? And fruit? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, those are carbohydrates. I'm like, wait, what? Not everybody knows that? So, you really do know a whole heck of a lot more than the people that you are here to serve. And so you have to educate your audience, right? That's important. Okay. And there's lots of ways that you can educate your audience, right? Blogs, videos, webinars, social media. Although we know we're talking off social media, I do believe that social media does need to be one of your levers. And here's the other thing, that when you're educating your audience, it increases the likelihood of them purchasing from you. It increases the likelihood of them purchasing from you. The third reason why we have to market is because you have to establish credibility and trust. People do not buy from strangers. I will say that until the cows come home. People will not buy from strangers. People need to have an experience of safety with you. They have to trust you. They have to like you. And the only way that they can do that is if you are visible to them, if they can learn about you, if they can read what it is that you're writing, if they can see what it is that you're doing. Okay. So we have to establish credibility and trust in order for somebody to see us and then want to work with us. Number 4 is marketing helps you attract those people into your ecosystem. And when they're ready, invite them to work with you. So it's about generating leads and conversions. Okay. And look, I know that those are marketing words, and for heart-centered entrepreneurs, that feels kind of, ugh, I don't want to just generate leads. Like, I really want to build relationships. That's the same thing. Okay. You're inviting people into your ecosystem because you're serving them with incredible value. You're nurturing them until they're ready to buy. That is what I call the nurture method. And I teach that inside of Activate Abundance. I will also be teaching that in Prosperous Holistic Business, which is attract, nurture, invite. But when you're attracting people into your ecosystem, that requires marketing. It requires you to be visible. Okay. And then the 5th reason why marketing is non-negotiable is that you have to stay top of mind. You have to stay top of mind. Not everybody is ready, right? Some people are in the slow lane and they might take a bit. What we're seeing in the market in 2024 is that people are taking longer to make their buying decisions. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just means that they are a little bit more discerning. They're watching you. They might watch you for a longer time than they used to, right? So they might be in your Facebook group for multiple years. They might be in your group for 6 months. But the buying pattern that we're seeing is that the first time someone comes into your ecosystem that has not had an experience of you, it takes about 6 to 12 months before they're ready to make a buying decision. If you don't stay top of mind, they're not gonna think that you're there, and you're gonna lose them. They're gonna go to somebody else, right? So the information that we see is that people purchase with one of the last 3 people that they were in touch with. That's huge, you guys. That's huge. So we have to stay top of mind, and that's what marketing does. It allows you to stay top of mind in front of your ideal client. Okay. Any questions before we move into why we actually need to diversify our marketing strategies in 2024? I'm going to stop the share just for a minute. Any questions about that? You guys can just pop off mute if you have any questions. Yeah, I know, Amy, right? I don't know what they thought it was, but again, they don't think in terms of fat, carbohydrates, and protein, right? Because they weren't health coaches or nutritionists. So they just know that bagels are carbs, or bread's carbs, or pasta's carbs. Yeah.
I was one of those people.
Yes, and look, right? Like what
it was you that said fruit and vegetable are carbs. I'm like, really?
Well, when I first learned it too, right? When I went as a functional practitioner, I was like, oh, you just think.
When you think about it, it makes sense, but you assume it's pasta and rice and potatoes.
Say that again, Julie.
I said, when you think about it, it makes sense, but when you first hear it, it's like, well, carbs are pasta and rice and potatoes.
Yeah.
They're not my strawberries.
Yeah, I know, right? So true. Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah. Who is?
I have a quick question. I missed what number 3 was.
Oh, okay. Number 3. Oh, did I miss this? Oh, Did I miss? No. I didn't.
You might not have. I was writing.
Okay. Numbers. I'll go through these again. Number 1 is differentiating your business. Right? Okay. Being the expert, right? You want to be the heart surgeon, not the family doctor. Number 2 is educating your audience.
Okay.
Number 3 is establishing credibility and trust, right? Strangers can't be buyers, right? This is where, that's so funny. That's what we were talking about, the carbs and the fruits and the veggies. Number 4 is attracting people into your ecosystem and converting them to buyers. Number 5 is staying top of mind.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions before we keep going here? All right. All right, so let's dive into why diversification is so important. I'm not going to share my screen for that since it's just a blank page. That way I can see you guys. So here's the thing. We are seeing that, and again, markets change all the time. So, when markets change, it's nothing to be scared about. It is just part of the world, and it's part of the way that people buy. But what I'm teaching you today is actually timeless, which means it's not dependent on a fad. It's not dependent on a trend, and it's actually not even dependent on whether or not we've got, the stock market is doing good or bad, or whether the political arena is great or low, right? These are things that we know hold true year after year after year after year. But we do need to diversify some of the ways that we're doing it. And the reason why is because we get to kind of adapt to some of the changing of our consumer behavior, right? So let me give you an example of this. And you can saw this, you can see this when I share with you, you're going to be like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. COVID, right? How did consumer behavior change? They had to go online, right? Many of you had to take your businesses online. You had to adapt to that, right? And so now having an online presence is kind of like a non-negotiable. That's why I still believe that social media or being online in some way is still really important. It's just not the only way. Okay. Now, guess what people are doing? They're doing more in person, right? Yeah, they're doing more in person. They want to have experiences. They're tired of being stuck in their house. So they want to get out. As a matter of fact, the travel industry and the tourist industry is going crazy right now, right? Like airplane tickets and cruises and travel, right? So when we have an in-person or an offline strategy, that means we're also going to be able to serve them. We get to serve both. Right? So I want you to understand that you get to do both. Yeah, in-person shopping. Yeah, there's some things that I love shopping for online, and there's some that there's no way that I can. Like, I can't buy a pair of pants online. It's just not going to work. Like, they're not going to fit right. I need to actually try them on and feel them, right? So number 1 is we have to be able to adapt to changing consumer behavior. All that means is, are we taking a look at the way people are buying today or where they're buying? Right? And when you have diversifying marketing strategies, all that means is that you've got another way to get in front of your ideal client that's offline. That's all that means. Okay. Number 2, we have to continue and we have to make sure that we are enhancing your brand awareness and recognition. What does that mean? It means that you have to, what I like to call omnipresent marketing. For example, we want to be, maybe doing an in-person talk where somebody could see you there. Maybe somebody will meet you at a networking event, or maybe saw you in a blog post, or maybe somebody saw you on a podcast, right? It doesn't mean that you have to do all of those things at once. It just means that we want to repurpose what we do have into other ways so that you can increase your awareness, increase your visibility. Think of it like that. Okay. Number 3 is actually keeping up with the competition. The more people have eyeballs on you and the more they see you in multiple places, the more credibility that grows for you, right? If you are only staying, like, say, I'm not going to do social media, I'm only going to do email, that's fine, but you are limiting the number of eyeballs that can get on you. Versus if you have your email list going and you have a Facebook group and you decide that you want to be on podcasts, great. You've got 3 different places for people to find you, right? That you are going to be seen a whole heck of a lot more over the person who is just going to a networking event or just doing an in-person event or just doing an email, right? Yeah, so we need to diversify it. It also is really important for increasing brand trust and credibility. right? When you see somebody who's being interviewed on a podcast, or you see somebody that has an article, or you see somebody that's in someone else's Facebook group, or you see somebody, that's doing an in-person event, right? That builds trust and credibility. And when you see them in multiple places, that actually builds their authority as a leader in the market. And that is what I want you guys to do. I want you to be the authority. And all that means is you get to claim it. No one else is giving you that authority but you. Okay. Number 5 is it actually, for those of you that were saying, oh, what about, engagement? It actually enhances community engagement. It actually enhances community engagement. Why? Because holistic businesses in particular, all of you here, especially in the holistic business realm, thrive on community and connection. Thrive on it, right? You guys know that. You're heart-centered entrepreneurs. And your people do too. Okay. So when we employ different ways to be visible, it is also going to help foster a sense of community and engagement with your audience. Okay. Why is this important? Because it is going to enhance loyalty, and it is going to help people feel a part of something bigger than themselves. We all want to have a sense of belonging, all of us. And that is what that's doing. Okay. Any questions so far about those reasons? Right now, I'm just kind of giving you the back end before we pop into the offline. Who has a better understanding of marketing and what it is, and why it's important, and why it's important to actually diversify? Pop yes. Yeah, Sharon, do you have a question? No. Okay. She's like, yes, I get it. Yeah. Type yes in the chat for me, please, if this is making sense. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, great. Fantastic. Good, good, good. Any questions so far? By the way, I love questions. I don't get mad at questions. I don't think you're stupid. Like, chances are the question that you have, somebody else is thinking the same thing. So anytime you guys have questions, just raise your hand or wave at me or something. Or come off mute. If I'm sharing my screen, come off mute and say, hey, Chris, because I can't see everybody when I'm sharing my screen. Okay, great. Fantastic. All right. So some of you were saying that you're not sure how to be consistent. Here's the thing that we want to do with consistency. We want to have email for sure. I'm going to tell you what are the most important ways to market your business, okay? And we're going to keep it simple. So let me give you the foundations that you want to start with. Email marketing, and that is offline marketing. That is not social media, that is offline. Okay, yes, Sarah, there will be a recording. Yep. Email is number 1. And so actually not number 1, just number 1 that I'm giving you today. And social media is another one. Those 2 are really, really important. We've got an online platform and we've got an offline platform. Okay. Why? Because when you're online, you're going to be able to attract an audience globally. And email, you can do this, you can do the same thing, but it is offline. It's still building and nurturing and delivering value. The other reason why email is important is because you own your email list. Social media owns their platforms. Email is the only thing that you personally own in your business as that list of names. Okay. So those are the 2 foundations. If you don't have those 2 foundations yet, that's okay. That's okay. Just know though that you want to start with these 2. And then we're going to talk about adding on another one offline, because you guys are here to learn offline. 1 or 2, at the most 3. Please don't add more than 3. You guys will, it'll be like, right? It's more important for you to be consistent in your email marketing and in whatever it is that you are choosing before you keep adding things, okay? But I'm going to show you some ways, and we're going to talk about 10 innovative ways that you can actually market offline, okay? Some of these are going to be like, oh yeah, I didn't even think that that was marketing, but it is. All right. You guys ready to dive into these? Yeah? Good. All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. All right. Before I give you the 10, I just want to show you this because this is where the 10 are going to come from. Your client attraction wheel. Notice that social media is just this purple one over here. Look at all the ways that you can actually get in front of your ideal client. Speaking is actually, you can do that offline, right? So one of the things, or what the first way in the 10 ways is you can host a workshop or a seminar. That's actually how I started my business. I did workshops and I collaborated with doctors and chiropractors and acupuncturists, and I did a workshop and a seminar. That was it. I gave a talk, and then I invited them into an assessment or a call with me, and I was able to connect with them more. And then I was able to invite them into whatever the next step was. When I first started, it was to invite them into a 6-week group program. Okay. So when you are hosting workshops and seminars, they're coming to see and learn from you, which is building your authority. It's building your credibility. It's establishing you as an expert in your field, and it's providing value to the community, as well as attracting potential clients, because they're taking a look at whatever the theme or the title is of your workshop, and they're coming to learn directly from you. Okay, so that one is one of the ways that we want that you can start marketing. Number 2 is collaborate with practitioners and local businesses or others who serve your client in a way that you don't. Okay, so some examples of this: health food stores, yoga studios, gyms, wellness centers. This is something where you can offer joint promotions. You could host an event together, right? And it is going to help you reach a wider audience. I saw Stephanie Pasniokis just jumped on here. She just did a fair, and she got 4 new clients from that fair. Amazing, right? Now, some of these you're going to have to invest in. Some of the fairs you're going to have to pay for a table. Some of these you're not. Okay. Number 3, email list. Number 3 is your email list, and specifically a newsletter. Why a newsletter? Because when you have a regular email newsletter filled with valuable content, and this is important, this isn't just like, hey, buy my thing. This is valuable content with health tips, success stories, upcoming events, special promotions. It keeps your audience engaged and informed about your offerings, and it gives value, relevant and congruent value, right? When you do that consistently, that's going to be really, really important. It's going to keep you top of mind, right? It's going to keep eyeballs on you. So my suggestion is start a newsletter, and you decide what you want to be consistent with. Is it monthly? Is it bi-monthly? Is it weekly? I love weekly. I love weekly, and it's really easy to put together. You do need to have an email platform, which would think of like a Mail Munch or Light Mail or ConvertKit, which is my favorite and I recommend for my clients. There's Flowdesk, there's MailChimp, there's MadMimi, there's a whole bunch of email providers out there. But you do need that, okay? Number 4, create a blog. Create a blog. Start writing about what you're passionate about. You can even take the information that you shared in your newsletter and copy that and put it on a blog post and repurpose it. Now you've actually got 2 of these levers that you've pulled, and it's not taking you any more time, right? So that's going to be, fun. And here's the thing, what that does is it actually drives organic traffic to your blog post. Okay, so let me see, there's a question popping in here. Yes, Amy, repurposing content is such a game changer. Absolutely, for sure. Me too. When you repurpose content, you give the feeling to your audience that you're everywhere, but you don't have to be. How cool is that? right? It doesn't mean that everything that we do is going to be like, oh my gosh, well, if I do 2 things, if I add another thing, that's going to be triple the amount of work. And if I add another thing, it's going to be 4 times the amount of work. Nope. You can repurpose your social media post to your email. You can repurpose your email to a blog. You can repurpose your blog to an article. You can repurpose your article to a podcast. You can repurpose your podcast to a YouTube channel. You guys picking up what I'm putting down with this? One main thing is going to serve in multiple places. So it doesn't mean that you have to work harder at all. It actually means that we want to work smarter and see what is it that we have and how can we repurpose it so we are omnipresent. So it looks like we're in multiple places. Okay. You can be a guest expert in somebody's group program. Love doing that. And you guys that are in Activate Abundance or Holistic Business Foundation see that. I've got, people in my programs that are guest experts. A guest expert could also look like going to share information in a small group, right? So maybe there's a mom's group that you could do, a talk with. Maybe there's somebody who runs a group for, and I know some of you guys here have done this. Julie is in menopause, and Alyssa, you do, metabolism and, helping people with metabolic health. So does Stephanie, right? Well, you guys are serving very similar audiences in a different way, right? So each one of you could be an expert, right? And you could be an expert in each other's Facebook group if you have that. You could be an expert on your own podcast. I do that. You can actually be an expert also on somebody else's blog, right? Repurpose one of your blogs and you can share that on someone else's blog. How does that work? It's so easy. You just are going to repurpose something and then you're going to have a link that is going to lead to your freebie. And so they're going to read the article, they're going to read the blog that is on somebody else's page or somebody else's podcast or somebody else's something. And then they can click on your link. And what is that doing? It's bringing them into your audience now. And they're going to get free value, get your freebie. Okay. Number 6, host retreats or wellness getaways. Oh my gosh, you guys, like now's the time. Now's the time, right? People want experiences. They're spending money on vacations. They want to be in community. We know holistic businesses in particular, right, thrive on connection and community. So think of these as immersive experiences that is going to attract individuals that are interested in deepening the holistic practice that you're sharing or teaching. Okay, and it doesn't have to be a whole weekend. It could be a half day. It could be a full day. It could be a weekend retreat, totally up to you. Lots of different ways to do that. As a matter of fact, one of my clients, Helen, she's on vacation in Italy right now. She's not here, but she sold out her group program from a retreat. So she did a retreat with about 12 women. I can't remember, it was up north somewhere. And then from there, she invited them to work with her inside of her group program and she sold that out. Amazing, right? Number 7, publish a book or even an ebook. Why? It establishes credibility. It creates expertise for you, right? It positions you as an authority in your field, and it provides a tangible product that can be given away or even sold to attract new clients, right? So I've written a book. I've put in my whole Soulful Abundance system that I teach inside of my year-long Activate Abundance program into a book. We're launching it this fall. We just got news that we're going to be, the book cover is going to be featured in the New York Times Square billboard. That's marketing. And that's marketing offline. Yay, right? So we're repurposing. Yeah, Christina, who's here with us too, she's going to be there as well. So exciting. We can give her cheers and kudos. Okay. You can write an article or for a print magazine that is online or offline, right? There's Mind Body Green. There's, there's so many out there that are looking for articles. So they are publishing it online, but it's not social media. Okay, they're publishing it on their website. An example of that would be you know, I'm also a Forbes council coach. And so I will share articles that they will then post on Forbes.com. You can share articles in the Women Thrive magazine. Some of you saw that they, you know, had me on their cover of the magazine. And I had an article in there on how to scale your holistic business. That's offline. That's off of social media. Okay. Now they have a digital and where there's a link then, right? So one of the things that I want you guys to make sure that you do not leave out in any of these is we have to give our person who's ever seeing it, reading it, hearing it, an opportunity to click on something or get your next something for free, right? We call this your high value opt-in, your lead magnet, your high value freebie, whatever it is that you want to put a name on it. That's what that is. Okay. Why? Because we want to lead with service and value, and we want to give them a win. We want to help them learn. We want to help them get information. And when they do that, when they download that, that means you also are doing a beautiful soulful exchange. They're giving you their name and email, letting you know that they're interested. You're giving them extra value that is going to help them solve a problem. It's a win-win for both of you. Number 10, network at professional associations. Now, that is also what I did in order to get in touch with the chiropractors, the acupuncturists, and my collaboration partners, is I went to a local networking event. Small businesses like you and me and chiropractors and yoga centers and wellness studios and other holistic practitioners also want to build their business. They are also going to be at these local networking events, and they're in person. So you get to see them. You get to like get a feel for what their vibe is, right? See if you relate with them, connect with them. And so I would go to these and I would listen when they did the introductions for who might be serving my client in a different way than I did. There was an OBGYN that specialized in female, in working with women only. Right? I actually did a talk in her office that she promoted in her email and put flyers up in her doctor's office for that. Okay. There's chiropractors that, again, let me do a free talk inside of their lobby. So this doesn't cost a lot to do any of this, you guys. So I want you to see that if any of these ideas are popping up and you're thinking, oh my God, this is going to cost so much money. No, it's not. No, it's not. Most of this is actually free. Most of this is actually free. Even the articles, even submitting the articles. By the way, for those of you that are inside of Activate Abundance Academy, I posted that Women Thrive magazine is taking articles. Please take action on that. Okay? Please take action on that. Cool. So network at professional associations. You can also think about becoming a chapter leader for another holistic health organization. So I also did this. I was a chapter leader for the Weston A. Price Foundation. I was a functional nutritionist, and we actually, our methodology that we taught or that we learned was very, very similar. As a matter of fact, we studied Weston A. Price and Pottinger. And so one of the things that was really beneficial in creating visibility for me was there was no chapter, and they did have chapters across the United States. There was no chapter leader for Charlotte. So I just applied to be a chapter leader. And what does that mean? That means that my name and my email and my website was now on their website, which did what? Established authority, established credibility, and they actually promoted any talk or class that I did for me for free. I just needed to give them a list of, I think it was 10 zip codes. And then they would send that email out to those 10 zip codes whenever I did a class. So there's a lot of holistic health organizations that are looking for chapter leaders. You just have to Google and find, you know, what would work for you and your ideal client. That was actually number 11. I have more. Do you guys want one more? I know I said 10, but I've actually got 12. Are you okay? Sharon, one more. So I touched on this a little bit, but I want to just go a little bit deeper on this one. You can speak on, be a guest on podcasts, summits, conferences, and email list builds. Email list builds. What's an email list build? An email list build is when a group of people come together and they share a high value opt-in or freebie, and everybody that participates shares it with their audience. So if you have 200 people that are participating in a list build, your freebie, your offer, your picture, your photo, your information gets in front of 200 people, right? So that's another thing. And by the way, we're going to be doing that for those of you, and I think most of you are already registered for this, email list accelerator, where in October, we're actually going to be doing a collaborative list build that I'm actually going to run for you. So you don't have to worry about any of the back end tech. Whoop, whoop. Right. So I'll share the link with any of you that want that. And again, that's another way of getting your people into your ecosystem. As a matter of fact, I just did one recently where I was asked to be a part of somebody else's list build, and we brought in about 750 people from my one freebie in less than 30 days. Okay. So again, eyeballs. How do we get eyeballs on you? Right? That means over 750 people downloaded my freebie. That means it's over 750 people raised their hand and said, I'm interested in what it is that you have, Chris. Now, the next step after that is going to be, what do I do with the leads that come into my ecosystem? Right? And I will teach that inside of Prosperous Holistic Business, just because that is a bigger, what are you going to do to nurture them, and how are you inviting them and moving them along that client pathway until they're ready to become a buyer? Okay. All right. I want to go ahead and let me just make sure that we covered 9 was, thank you, Stephanie. I didn't see that. So Heike, number 9 was you could publish an article, right? So any of the online digital, any of the digital magazines or the in-print magazines are looking for contributors. Okay. And that's really, really amazing. All right. Questions. I want you guys to come off mute. Let me know what are some of the questions that you have. First of all, I want you to take a look at the list of 12 that you wrote down, and I want you to circle the top 3. And when I say circle the top 3, that is something that when you look at that, you're like, oh, that actually would be kind of fun. I think I could do that. Like, it would actually probably easy too. Like, I'm already doing this XYZ thing here. I'm already doing an email. So all I have to do is copy the email and put that over here to create more visibility. That's just one idea, right? Or maybe you love to speak. Podcasts are great. Maybe you love to do video. Great. YouTube. There's many, many people who have YouTube channels. Okay. So circle your top 3. And then I want to answer any questions that you have about how to implement one of those top 3. I want everybody to get support today so that you are walking away with an action to implement. This information will do nothing to help you grow your business if you don't action it. Okay, so I'm not just about spewing information. That's why I created this to be 2 hours. I knew it was going to take me about an hour to get through the information. The rest of the hour is to support you in implementing it and taking action. Okay, right? Information does not equal transformation. So let's take a look at that. Who wants support first today? If you have to hop off early, if you've got something else coming up, go ahead and go first. Just Julie, was that you?
Yeah. I'd love to do an article, but I think it's more of a confidence thing than anything.
Yeah.
Because I find sort of writing emails hard. Coming up with something to write, and it's low confidence. Will they want to, am I teaching people to suck eggs type thing? Yeah.
And so this is where, we just get to uncover, is it really true that what we're thinking, that I'm not a good writer?
Oh, no, it's not true. It's like, it's just pure confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's confidence in my own knowledge that people will want to read what I've written.
Yeah. And that's just a thought. The truth is there are people that want what it is that you're going to write, Julie. There are people that want to learn that. It's important that we start from that premise. And that's mindset. That's all that is. That's not strategy, right? That's just like, I have something that's valuable. We have to start from that premise. Every single one of you. I want you to claim that right now. As a matter of fact, pop in the chat right now. I have something to share that's valuable. I have something to share that's valuable. Because if you don't believe that, nobody else will. If you don't believe that you have something to share that's valuable, that the energy is going to be off and nobody is going to, we want people to feel your confidence, right? Now, that doesn't mean that you have to feel like, oh, I'm the best menopause coach in the world, right? It just means that you went through training, Julie. You've got a hell more information than other women who didn't go through the training on menopause.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to write up the script for my workshop next week, so I can do it. It's just the thought of it going into print and other people reading it is just about.
Yes. So
really out my comfort zone.
Of course it is, and we don't grow inside of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
If we stay stuck in our comfort zone and only do what we're doing right now and what we're comfortable with, we will not grow as humans, period. Doesn't even matter about business. We have to be willing to try something and take a risk and fall flat on our face, just like we did when we decided that we were going to try to ride a bike.
Yeah.
We didn't get on the bike and ride it the first time. Guarantee you, I can't tell you how many times I've crashed when I was trying to, as a matter of fact, not only with that, but also with a unicycle. When I was a kid, I was 12 years old. I got a unicycle for Christmas. I cannot even tell you how many times I crashed on that thing. It's ridiculous, right? Skinned knees and elbows, but I got back up and I did it again. And I did it again. And I did it again. So this isn't about, is it possible? It's about, am I willing to lean in and do it anyways and take the risk? Okay. So Julie, I want to encourage you to do the article anyways and let it be good enough. Doesn't need to be perfect. Just write it and submit it. That's it. That's all you got to do, and let it go. Because the truth is, we are not going to know all of the people that are reading it.
Yeah.
Right? We're not going to know whether they like it or don't like it unless they personally reach out to us and say, that was an amazing article. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So just do it anyways. That's the key.
Yeah. No, I will. I'll give it a go.
Yeah. And I also just want to say, and I posted this week in my online in my Facebook group, and that is confidence comes by doing. Confidence comes by doing, right? You have to practice the basketball shot in order to be good at doing free throws, right? You're not going to be confident when you're doing anything for the first time. I wasn't confident writing this book. It actually took me, I think, 2.5 years to write the book. But I kept at it. And I'm so glad that I did. And I'm so glad that I leaned in even when it felt crunchy. And I leaned in when I thought, well, what is even going to make this different, right? There's a lot of books out there. There's a lot of business coaches out there. Who's going to want to read what I read? They can just look it up on Google, right? I get the same things, same thoughts happening as you. And it's just not true. Okay. Let me just say it's just not true. Okay. So Julie, how are you gonna, first of all, you get to write the article, but do you have, what would you do? What would your next step be after you write the article?
Oh, well, to come up with the article, I'll have to think something about what to write about first. If once it's done, it's celebrating I've done it.
Yeah.
And potentially do more.
Yeah. So I would love for you to do also just add this on your to-do list, maybe for this weekend. Research online platforms, articles, magazines that talk about menopause.
Right.
There's one that I can tell you, Pro Age is one that I know for sure is talking about it. Women Thrive, which you have access to that platform right now, is another one. Okay. Yeah. So research places that you can submit an article.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Can't wait to hear.
Thank you.
Can't wait to hear. And look, you've got support too. You've got support. If you even wanted Ashley's eyeballs on the article, you could share it with her.
Yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
just need a virtual slap around the face to do it.
Yeah. Well, and that's up to you, right? That's where you get to lean in instead of leaning out. But you can do it. There's no reason why you can't. Oh, good. Sophie's working on an audiobook and a podcast. Amazing, Sophie. I love that. And Stephanie said, starting out was slow, but consistently working to implement at a steady pace everything that we're learning. She's actually one of our coaches, and she went through Activate Abundance and our mastermind together. Everything we learn, what'd you say? I'm sorry. Steady pace, everything we're learning. And then we get to add a new thing every once in a while. Yes, exactly. Like with all change that we're making, it's consistency, right? So email number one, having a social media process, but then another one or two that you can take offline so that we can create some omnipresence. Yeah. Sophie, will you come off mute and that way I can support you with this? So Sophie says she just tends to worry about how to share my message and get clients now. Yeah. Do you want to come off mute?
Hi, yes, sorry. I was
That's
putting my
okay.
baby to sleep. I was putting my baby to sleep.
Oh,
Yeah.
how old?
So, sorry, you
Okay.
were gonna ask me something.
That's okay. Go ahead.
So you said something to me yesterday at Heather's masterclass
Mhm.
about sharing, like nurturing my community, right?
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm working on my podcast, I still don't know if it's going to be a podcast or an audiobook, but it's for sure it's going to be something that my clients can hear.
Yeah.
Because I'm a manifestor in human design, and I know, like, okay, I need to use my voice.
Yep.
I'm just worried, and I tend to get like, because I want my message to be out now, and I want to start having clients.
Mm-hmm.
So in the meantime,
Mm-hmm.
you said something about nurturing my community, and I was wondering, like, how can I, like, if I want to be consistent, what can I pick now to nurture my community? Now I can be consistent. So I'm thinking like creating a masterclass, or I don't know. That's my question.
Yeah, great. Okay, Sophie. So first, I just want to invite you to do a holistic business audit with me so that I can really support you, because that question is a little bit out of scope of what we're talking about here with marketing, but I'm happy to support you here.
Yeah.
Remember, the nurturing is the second step. Marketing is the first step, right? Visibility. How do we get more eyeballs on us to create more visibility? Okay. So what you're asking me basically is, how do I nurture the people once they're in my ecosystem so then I can convert them to be a buyer? Okay, so please book a holistic business audit with me so I can go deeper in that. But I want you to think about, once they're in your ecosystem, we want to think about, how do we actually continue to give them value, right? And connect personally with them. So if you do decide to share a podcast, which I love podcasts, I think they're simple. I think they're easy to do now. As a matter of fact, they don't cost a lot of money to get started up at all. I think you need to have a Libsyn is what I use to host mine. It's $7 a month. That's it. They share it on Spotify. They share it on Apple Podcasts. And then when you're connecting with them, Sophie, we want to make sure that we're giving them value that is relevant to the questions that they have, right? So for example, if you were like, Chris, I don't know how to nurture, right? I'd be like, you know what, Sophie, either let's hop on a call so that I can support you with that. And I also have this great resource that I think would really help for you, right? Let me grab this podcast episode so that you can hear how to do that better, right? So that's purposing what we've already created to create connection and support and to give value, right? It's not like, hey, do you want to buy my thing and then I'll teach you? It's like, no, let me give you value, support you now. Here's something
I get it.
Support you, right? And then if that is something that you like and you resonates with and you want to try and you want support, then we can share with our people, come back around. Hey, how did that podcast work for you? Is that something that was helpful? Do you have any more questions?
Yeah, and I actually realized that I did a training, like when I was pregnant, I did a course with so it's like a pelvic floor Pilates expert, and a lot of the resources she had on the course, on the training, were links to her Instagram, for
Mhm.
example, with videos of like 2 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
she did it like and then she put them all together in the training. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this
Yeah.
is something I could do. Like if I have already enough resources, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that is, again, that's online. So I really don't want
Yeah.
to go in that direction here because this is
Yeah,
online. Okay. But I'm
I know.
happy to support you
Yeah.
in an audit. Happy to support you in an audit one-on-one with that. But
Yeah.
I don't want
I
to get,
also resonated with, yeah, I know. I also resonated with that. I'm doing a big effort to be online. That's why I got into the call,
Mhm.
because I tend, as a manifestor, I also know I get burned because I cannot be consistent online because you need to post. And
That's a
so,
thought. That's a thought. That's a thought. That's a mind
yeah,
issue, Sophie. That's not true. You can be consistent if you choose to be consistent. That's a choice.
yeah,
You just have to start.
okay,
Yeah, that's not,
yeah,
yeah, that's just like nobody's twisting your arm and saying you don't get to go online,
yeah,
right? Like you're choosing,
yeah.
I'm just not going to do the thing today. And posting doesn't mean that you've got to write these long ass posts. It could be as simple as sharing a quote. I mean, it doesn't have to
Yeah,
be hard, right? But you have to get your mind right around that to say, you know what? I've got a message to share. I want to share it. And this is one way that I can do it. And I'm going to do it because I know that people need to hear my message, because I know that
yeah,
people suffering in the world with this problem, and I want to help ease the suffering.
yeah,
Okay.
okay,
So it starts from there. That's why
yeah,
yesterday in Heather's class, we talked about aligning our energy.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Strategy doesn't work. Like I could tell you to do the thing and you'd be like, yeah, I don't think that's going to work, or I don't believe that's going to work, or that's too hard for me, or whatever. And so it isn't going to work, right? Whether you can or you can't, you're right.
yeah,
Whether you can or you can't, you're right. The cool thing is
yeah,
that you do get to choose ways that you want to do on repeat. And if it's something that you see and it's something that you can do, and we know that works, right, over and over and over again, but it takes consistency. I want you to think about it like this, everybody. Say you go to a restaurant, an Italian restaurant, and it's so good. And you're like, oh my God, I cannot wait to come back to this Italian restaurant. This was so good. And you go back the next day and it's closed. And you're like, oh, wait, are they going out of business? Like they're not open. And then you try again, and now it's a Mexican restaurant. And you're like, wait, what? I thought they were Italian. Are they Mexican? Like, are they new? Like, that's what happens when we're not consistent, and when we change niches and we kind of bounce around all the time, is there's no trust there. There's no consistency there. And your people are looking to you, and they are watching you to see if you are showing up consistently. They are. If they're in your ecosystem, they're watching, and they're going to be like, oh, there's Sophie. Oh, there's Sophie again. Oh, there's Sophie again. Oh, there's Sophie again. Oh, right on repeat. I can trust her. I'm starting to know her. I'm starting to like her. The truth is, people don't even start to notice you until they see you around the 7th to the 11th time. That's why when I say, please just don't like put a class or an advertisement up once, or send it once to your email list, or do this thing once. It does take consistency. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sophie. I look forward to having a private chat with you. Yeah. Happy to support you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. This
Sure.
was amazing. Thank you.
Good,
Thank
good.
you for
I'm
this
so glad.
feedback.
Yeah. Okay. Jenna, what's your one? What's your one that you want support around that you're going to implement offline out of the 3 that you circled?
How did you know I was going to talk?
I
I was gonna, can I ask you, pick your brain a little bit about some marketing
Absolutely. That's
before
what I'm
giving
here
you
for.
my one? So, Naomi and I are actually working on a collaborative project, the 14-day guided gut and liver reset, along with another functional nutrition practitioner who's not here. So we're trying to come up with a marketing plan, and my thoughts on this, we have a list of places we would love to market on and off social media.
Mhm.
Gonna get into ConvertKit, start, getting some flyers together. I think it's best to maybe have, if I have a flyer out in the public, do a QR code. We're gonna start hopefully launching like a tentative launch date of like end of September, maybe into October. So I thought now was probably a good time to start with the marketing.
Yep. I
Um,
agree.
so
Mhm.
yeah, just,
Okay.
chiropractic offices.
So here's what I would do with this, Jenna. Yeah. So this is what I think is going to be the most impactful. You need something more than putting a flyer there. Just putting a flyer is not really going to actually get people, it's just the flyer, right? It's like that one Facebook post. What is going to convert it much better is if you do a talk at the chiropractor's office and then invite them into that reset cleanse. But it is important that you title that based on results, right? A gut reset and liver cleanse is what you're doing, but they're going to say, well, what's in it for me? So we do want to title it. We can absolutely say in the tagline, a gut reset and liver cleanse, but we want to title it something that's chocolate. The gut reset and liver cleanse is broccoli. It's something that you're going to do. It's something that they need, but that's not what they're looking for. So they're looking to have an experience. They're looking for a result. So title it the result, and then underneath in the tagline, put a gut reset and liver cleanse experience so that you can have benefit, 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 clear skin, lowered insulin resistance. Alyssa just did a talk about that, increase your energy level, right? Those are the things, and we want to think about that in terms of a third grader. A third grader doesn't know what a gut reset and a liver cleanse is or why they need it. You know, because you're an expert. Naomi knows it because she's an expert. Your collaborator knows it because she's an expert. But many people don't, right? That's like, oh, I didn't know that strawberries and broccoli were a carbohydrate, right? If I said, come learn all about carbohydrates, people would be thinking that I was going to teach them about bread, right? So we want to make sure that you're leading with the chocolate in the title, and then do a talk based on that title, how to have more energy, how, around, blah, 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 right? How to, something, but it's got to be based on a result. Okay. Do the talk. And then from the talk, you can invite them into it. So I want you to take one step, still share the flyer, but have the chiropractor, the acupuncture, the massage therapist, your collaboration partners. Naomi, I want you to do the same thing. And then the invitation, they're going to share the talk with their people, right? So now you're getting in front of the audience of the chiropractor. You're getting in front of the audience of the acupuncturist. You're getting in front of the audience of the massage therapist. You're getting in front of the audience of the wellness center or yoga studio or whatever, right? More people are going to resonate and connect with you there than just looking at a flyer. Okay.
So like doing a Facebook Live too would be.
Yep. That's yes. As many levers. I want you to think about this as many lines in the water as you can put in there that you feel that you've got capacity for, the better. So definitely offline, right? Because you're thinking about that. Naomi can do the same thing with a chiropractor. Like if all three of you are getting in front of other people's audiences and guiding them to this experience, that's exponential, right? That's exponential. And yes, you can still do the flyer with the QR code, not a problem, but you're going to get a bigger conversion rate and you're going to attract better quality people that are actually looking for what it is that you have and are willing and capable of investing to join you inside of the actual gut reset and liver cleanse experience.
Just had an idea. Is it possible to have, a poster of the event with a QR code just linking to a video explaining more about why they want to do it? And
You could, but that doesn't convert well either, Jenna. And here's why. People would much rather be, again, have an experience of you, right? And honestly, people are burnt out from recordings. Let's just be honest. Aren't you guys burnt out for recordings, right? How many of you sign up for something and you either don't show up live or you don't even watch the recording, right? Right. So again, it's not that recordings are bad. It just means that we need to move them in our client, for lack of a better term, funnel. That means it's not going to be the first step. It's going to be added value, right? So yes, you could do a recording, but use that recording in your email. Use that recording in your nurture sequence. Hey, thank you for downloading my, XYZ guide. Here's another gift for you that I thought might be helpful. So you can still use it. It's not that any of those things in and of themselves are wrong. It's the way that people are using it. Webinars do not convert well. I'll tell you right now in 2024, webinars do not convert well. Why? Because they're using it at the top of the funnel, and nobody who just opts into a webinar is gonna, just jump in and buy something. There's no nurture, there's no like, trust, and there's no credibility yet. Okay, so yes, you can use it, but that's not the first touch point. So I don't recommend using that as the QR code. I like how your brain is working though, and how do I give more people value? I would just put that in a nurture sequence inside of your, 5 email nurture sequence, or use that as part of your newsletter. Hey guys, I just created this great training for you. It's in the newsletter, right? That's a much better usage of that than trying to convert them into a buyer. Yeah. That's just where we are in 2024. It might swing back to webinars again someday. Who knows, right? Webinars used to be the thing, and newsletters were out. Now everybody wants newsletters. They're like, no, I want it. I want the newsletter. It's easy to consume. It's giving me value, right? Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you want me to share my top?
Yeah. Share your top one. Well, I think that should be your top one, Jenna. I think that should be your top one. Yeah. I think what we just talked about, that should be your top one. I would just say that go all in on that one, because that's coming up.
Yeah.
How can you get in front of more people and share that that's coming up? That's what I would say. That's your priority.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Alyssa, you raise your hand.
Hi.
Hi.
So I want to do newsletters, but I am terrified of them only because of the thought of how am I going to come up with something every week to send out where people won't get bored, or I'm not repeating things. And I love the idea of them putting it into a blog, but I have to overcome that newsletter portion.
Yeah. Okay. I've got such a simple fix here for you, Alyssa. So first of all, I just want to say, for everybody who's here and watching, whether you're watching the recording or live here, repetition is important. Repetition builds belief. Repetition builds belief, right? That's why they have 20 Budweiser commercials every, during the Super Bowl, and, Little Caesars Pizza. See, look, I remembered it was Little Caesars Pizza. Why? Because it was on repeat. Okay. Repetition is important. Now, what I want you to think though is, Alyssa, how can you repeat whatever it is that you're sharing in a different way? And the way that we do that, and you've got access to this inside of Activate Abundance Academy in your content matrix. There are 11 different ways or themes that we can talk about the exact same thing, right? So I'm just going to use insulin resistance because I know that's what you're talking about recently, right? You talked about you gave a story. That's one way, personal story. Another one is statement of fact. Did you know that 80% of adults between the ages of whatever and whatever experience insulin resistance, and they don't know what, they don't even know it, right? So statements of fact are another one, okay? Mythbusters is another one. You can talk about insulin resistance from busting a myth. Most people think that you have to have diabetes in order to be insulin resistant, right? So you bust a myth, right? Another way that you can do it is social proof. Social proof is, I worked with my client on, and she went from a high A1C number to losing 15 pounds and actually having to come off insulin, right? So there are multiple ways that you can talk about the same thing. So go into, by the way, if anybody wants the content matrix, just type content in the chat or DM me on Facebook. If you're in Activate Abundance, you have it already. And I'll make sure that we, it's actually inside of your Facebook group, by the way. Go to the file section and you can download it. But it's 11 different ways. And so what you do, Alyssa, is I want you to take your signature system where you have content buckets, content pillars right along the top. One could be insulin resistance. Well, another one could be, another content pillar, right? And you can talk about that same theme just in a different way, approaching it from a different aspect or avenue, but it's still talking about insulin resistance,
And how long does, like, what's the minimum amount of, let's say, words that need to go into a newsletter?
There's not. It could be 2 paragraphs.
Okay.
It could be, these are my top foods to eat every day if you're insulin resistant. This could be, you could just do something really, really like 2 paragraphs. Go back and look at mine. Mine are not that long. The content, that part that I share is not that long. And then I share, this is what's going on this week, right? Here's a podcast. Here's the book that I'm reading. Here's where you can find me. Here's my Facebook group. Those are the pieces that you put in your newsletter. Right? It doesn't have to be, writing a whole chapter in a book or something. It can be very, very simple and easy and to the point. Your newsletter also could be just sharing something from your own life, right? So I think the last newsletter I did, I talked about Alaska and my experience of being bussed into a frickin' fire, right? So that was something from my life, but we're giving people a little view on how you manage and build resilience in the face of obstacles. And we know that we're going to have obstacles in our entrepreneurship journey.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that is a good next step for you.
Okay.
I love it. And here's the way that you can do that, Alyssa. And for those of you that do have email marketing already, you just create a template, right? Create one newsletter, right? You're welcome. And then duplicate that every week. So you have the same template and just change out the content, change out the picture of the book that you're reading, change out the recipe if you're sharing a recipe, change out the text. So it's all there ready for you. You don't have to redo the whole thing. And if you need help with that, we have our amazing tech genie here, Stephanie Pasniokis, and she can help you set that up.
Yeah.
Right, Steph?
I actually asked her for the link this morning. I'm going to set something up
Good.
for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great. So yeah, I think that's a great next step for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Heike, what about you? And I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Please tell me if I'm, let me know the proper pronunciation if I'm saying that wrong. What is your one that you would like support with?
Hi, everyone. So I'm studying to become a finance coach.
Okay, great.
And I've got a blog going and a bit of social, but yeah, the newsletter is also stumping me a little bit. Although I do realize that once I've published the blog, I can repurpose that content to the newsletter. But I haven't got all the systems set up like the ConvertKit and so on. So that's also, the tech is also a little bit challenging.
Yeah, it is. It is when you're starting. And actually that is why we have, by the way, you can see Steph here. Steph, Heike can get together. Steph is actually our tech coach inside of my program, Activate Abundance Academy. And so our clients get monthly calls. So when they get stuck with tech, she pops in, she can set it up for you really quickly. If you're not inside that program, that's fine. You can actually reach out to Steph and she can help you get that set up too. You can just hire her directly. So that would be something support for sure. So I love that you're doing a blog. And I would say that your next step, if you're doing the blog, is definitely get the email up. And when we do that, that means we need to create a freebie, because the freebie is going to be, the free value is going to be people into the ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
And in your blog, in every single blog, I want you to put a link to your email, not to your email, to your freebie.
Okay.
Every single blog post, download my ABC guide, right? So that is going to go on every blog post so that when people come, they can read the blog and they'll click on get your freebie. That means that they come into your email list. That's what I would do.
Great, thank you. One thing I want to share is there's a women's luncheon in August that I rented a stall at. And they've asked me to give a speech, so I'm very excited about that.
Whoa,
so a 20-minute,
yay.
I think that'll be great exposure as well.
Yep, absolutely. So here's the key with talking. Make sure that you give them a way to continue to connect with you. This is where, if you want my freebie on the top 5 ways to be financially secure in 2024, give me your name and email address so I know where to send it. Right. Then you give
For
them
sure.
value, and now they're on your email list. So
Mm.
you always, no matter, whenever we're talking or speaking, we always want to give people a way to take the next step so that they come into either our Facebook group, if we're running a Facebook group, on our email list, if we're running an email list. And again, those are the two main. That's why I say those are our foundations, right? Email is going to also help you online and offline, but it's something that you own, right? So
Yeah.
meeting people in person, when you're doing these talks, when you're going to these conferences, you can still share your freebie. You would just give them a link to the freebie. You don't even, that's not online, that's actually offline. That's just part of digital. And then click on that, and then now they're in your ecosystem and they can have an experience with you.
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
Yay! Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So you and Steph get together, and I'm sure you guys will work it out. Fantastic. You're welcome. Maria, what about you? What would you like support around today? What's your top one that you want to implement? Okay, she might not be here. Christina, what about you?
Well, I'm guessing what the question is. I'm sorry, I kept dropping off the call. I'm in the car right now, but
Okay.
I am racing home because the downloads are coming in so fast. I'm like so anxious.
Oh no, take a breath. That's excitement.
Yeah.
That's not anxiety.
I'm
That's
like, oh my God, I
no,
have
this
like so
is
many
excitement.
ideas. So I think you and I know a mutual person who's launching a television show, and I've been thinking about it all morning about sending her an application of how having time management, creating boundaries, and clearing space makes room for you to attract in abundance.
Beautiful.
And
Yeah.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous to go for that.
Okay. So what's the worst that can happen?
Well, that she can just say no.
Yeah. And you're still in the same space that you are right now. Nothing's changed. That's all.
Yeah.
That's the worst that can happen is you get a no. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
You live through it. You can survive a no. Shit, you survived harder things in your life, Christina. You can survive a no. I know, right?
Exactly.
You can do hard. You can survive a no. So this is where we have to just get onto ourselves when those little gremlins and those limiting beliefs come up and say, oh yeah, don't do the thing. No, do the thing. You're going to survive it. The worst that can happen is that you stay where you are. So if you do it, I mean, you have a 50-50, right? 50 yes, 50 no. If it's no, you're still where you are.
Yeah,
You've lost
exactly.
nothing. If it's yes, you've got increased exposure. So there really is only a win here. There's only a win here.
Very true.
Yeah.
It's kind of tugging at me right now. Like I can feel it in my heart space. Like I feel like this huge butterfly flapping around inside of me right now.
You know what? Just do it, and don't just do. Honestly, when something like this happens, you just do it.
Yeah.
You don't overthink it. Like just take the action and don't overthink it. The overthinking is actually it's our perfectionism that overthinks it that creates what? Procrastination, then says we need to do the right thing, which says no, she probably won't like it, but I'm not good enough, and then we don't ever do it. So just do it and just like press, like do it before you talk yourself out of it.
Yeah. I'm almost home, so I'm gonna go home and do it.
Yeah. So will you text me or post in Voxer that you did it, just that we can kind of bookend and create a little bit of accountability here?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay.
I love it. So yeah, so that's another thing that I didn't share here, but there are radios and there are televisions, shows out there that are looking for guests too. I've been on one radio show, maybe two radio shows. I haven't done television yet. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Naomi, what about you? Are you going to go all in with Jenna on that number one, or do you have a question that I could answer for you?
Hi, Chris. I'm sorry I cannot turn my camera on, but thank you so much. Well, I have a question. Yes. For us as Jenna mentioned before, that we are collaborating. We would like for me to write an article or to host a retreat, then that will need also a marketing tool, right?
Say that last part again. I didn't understand the very last sentence.
Yeah. For example, if we want to host a retreat,
yes,
that one will need also a marketing tool to invite people to get in that retreat, right?
I'm still not understanding. You want to do a retreat? Are you asking me how to fill a retreat?
No. If, for example, I want to make a retreat, or we
Yes.
want to make a retreat, to make the retreat, we need also marketing to invite people to get there.
Yes.
So we will need like another tool to be a successful tool for us as a marketing tool.
Yes and no. This is a both and. There are people that you know right now in your ecosystem that you can invite to your retreat. Okay, so this is also part of building and growing a business, is you've got people that are either clients, current clients, past clients, people that you've had conversations with, people that have downloaded your freebie with, people that are already in what we call as our hot and warm market. And you would reach out to those people first and let them know that you've got this retreat going on. So that's a simple, easy way to just kind of like, hey, Naomi, I've got this retreat coming up in, next March at the Well of Mercy here in North Carolina. We would love to have you. This is what we're going to do, right? And you just reach out personally. So that doesn't really require any marketing with your hot list, but you want to start there. Okay. Then from there, you can also send it out to the greater community to your email. So you would promote that on your email, right? And then you would take a look at who are the people with, based on the other marketing things that you're doing, that are downloading your freebie there on your email list, right? You're going to want to make sure that you're circling around and following up with them. So you just are talking about it a lot more, Naomi, so that, again, you're talking about it to your current audience. And when you're sharing a freebie or something, you can also talk about it, in an email that they get once they download the freebie. And that's called a nurture sequence. That's actually what we're setting up in October in Email List Accelerator. And the steps would go like this. You're sharing your freebie in a list build, right? So 20, 30 people are getting together. They're each creating a high value freebie, right? We actually help you create the freebie. You're going to give us the freebie. We're going to create all of the emails that you can copy and share to promote it, all of your graphics. Everybody is going to send it out. Then you're going to have people clicking to get on your email list. These people are now coming into your email list. And now you've got 100 to 500 new people that you can share that you're having this retreat coming up.
Okay.
Okay, so that's kind of the one way that you could do that. Okay, there's a lot of ways to do that, but the most effective ways are, take a look at who do you know in your world right now that you think might be interested, and personally reaching out to them, then sending it out into your email, and give yourself enough time. Give yourself enough time. You really do need 4 to 6 months to fill a retreat. Do not try to do it next week. It's going to be really hard to do that. You need to, for a retreat, you need to plan. And there's a couple moving pieces in a retreat that you need to have support around to make sure that you're deciding, is this a retreat to invite them into an offer? Is this a treat just to make money on itself from the retreat, so it's just an experience? Like, there's a couple pieces that you want to think about with a specific retreat that you yourself are hosting. Now, another thing that you could think about is you could be a guest expert on somebody else's retreat too, and connect with the people that are there and share what it is that you're doing. That way, you don't actually have to take care of all of the heavy lifting of marketing the retreat and promoting the retreat to get people there. You could actually be in as a guest expert in somebody else's retreat. It's another way to do that.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, for sure. Yeah. All right. Any other questions that are popping up, ladies? Anything else that's kind of popping up that you're like, oh yeah, that's right. She asked this question, but I have a question. I have a follow-up question to it. Okay. So how willing are you to implement that one thing that you circled within the next 7 days. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Keep it simple, right? Do not overthink it. Take the action and then decide how are you going to be consistent with it. So if it's email, make sure that you decide this is going to be a once a month or a once a week newsletter. Great. So Alyssa, perfect. I do my newsletters every Saturday. So mine go out every Saturday. So I know I typically end up writing it Friday. Sometimes I write it Saturday morning. Not a big deal, right? But I try to make sure that that's consistent. And look, you don't have to be perfect, right? There's going to be times that you go on vacation. There's going to be times that you forget. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You just get back on and resend it again. So Alyssa's going to do hers on Monday. Amazing. Good. Fantastic. So consistency is key. You need to show up consistently. Okay. So email, just to recap quickly, marketing is a non-negotiable. 50% of your time needs to be spent getting in front of your ideal client. If you do not know who your ideal client is, message me and I will help you figure that out in a holistic business audit. Any of the things that we talked about, if you want more support around it and you're not inside of Activate Abundance Academy, Activate, you've got me already. So you can ask me questions anytime. Reach out to me and book a holistic business audit, and that way I can help you and we'll get a plan together. There's no charge for that. It's free and there's no pitch. I'm not going to try to sell you into anything. This is truly from service to give you some value so that you can take the action and start implementing it. Okay. Let me grab that link for you real quick for actually, you have it on the playbook, but I'm just going to pop that link here for you so you can have it. The other thing is that if you are looking for support specifically around email, I want to make sure that you get on the email list accelerator VIP list, because that is where we are going to actually be building out for you a collaborative list build. So we're going to help you create your freebie, your high value freebie. We're going to make sure that it's high converting. This is important. This is not just like putting together your 5 steps too. This is, we want to make sure that it's high converting. So you're going to meet with me and I'm going to actually help you with that. We're going to have some tech calls to help you set up, a nurture sequence. We're giving you templates for all of that. We're going to teach you what to do so that you can continue to build your email list. And then we're going to do a collaborative list build at the end. That's going to bring in anywhere between 100 to 500 people into your email list, into your ecosystem. So that is the wait list, just so that, because we're going to start that in October. So let me go ahead and grab that link for you so that if you're not already, you can go ahead and get on that wait list. It is not part of Activate or Holistic Business Foundations. It is a completely separate thing. So you will want to get on the wait list. And again, the wait list is just information, like it's like who's interested in it so that we can let you know what all the details are. Activate, you have first dibs. I think you got an email sent out to you guys already. If you want to grab a spot for that, you can totally do that. And here we go. Here's the list for email list accelerator. By the way, I will make sure that we put both of these links inside of the recording email. So we'll make sure that when we send out the recording, for those of you that are watching the replay, go back to your email and you can have both of these links. That way you can learn how to build and grow your email list. That has to be a part of your business. Like there is no way to build a profitable, sustainable business without an email list. You have to have it. It's a non-negotiable. Okay. So the other piece then is going to be social media, right? Or some way that you can be, showing up consistently where you have a place to land. And then we have these other levers that you can pull to market offline. Okay. But email list building is an offline activity. Okay. It's something that is that's not social media driven. Okay. You can share your email list, with people. You can ask them if they want your newsletter. And that's one way to bring them on your email list. But we're going to talk about all the different ways that you do that inside of Email List Accelerator. All right. What is one aha that you're taking away from the call today? I would love to hear your thoughts. You can either pop them in the chat here, or if you can just share with me, come off mute and say, what's one thing that you learned today that you're excited about? It's one aha that you learned today that you're excited about.
Can I go first?
Please, Sophie. Yes, yes, yes.
For me, is really showing consistency in whatever thing I decide to, like, where do I have to move forward? Where do I decide to move forward? Just be consistent. That's a big takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put my energy.
Yeah. And the beauty about that is it's not like, you have to learn something new for that. It's just about taking the action and deciding.
Yeah. And then the other thing you said, like, I have something valuable to share. And as I start repeating it, I have something valuable to share. And it's like, yeah, I do. Like, yeah, I'm already an expert. Like, I have to be consistent. So
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, I'm so glad. That makes my heart happy. So good. Yay. Who's next? Who else is going to share an aha or an insight or something they're excited that they learned today?
Oh, I'll go ahead and share. One thing I realized is I'm still terrible at talking chocolate.
Can we
and
rephrase it? Let's rephrase that. You are
Okay.
learning how to talk chocolate.
I am learning how to talk chocolate.
Yes. You're learning a new language. Truly you are. Like, I really do want you to think of it like that. You are learning a new language.
Yeah, I've just been talking broccoli for so long.
Yes, but we're used to chocolate. Yes, exactly. So now just need to practice talking chocolate. That's all it is.
And my aha is that I really need to get these Facebook groups going and get people in.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's my goal this weekend.
How do you want to do that?
Well, my plan for that, so I've got the 14-day guided gut and liver reset event Facebook group page. So I want to do an about page. And I've got notes from Laura when she talked about creating the Facebook, how to set it up. I've got your Facebook checklist.
Right.
So going through those, and to start inviting people. So sharing it on my support group page, getting in touch with old clients, and going outwards from there.
Beautiful. I love those actions. Fantastic. Well done. That's exciting. Hey. Who else? Naomi, what about you? What's something that you learned today that you're excited about?
For me, in my case, I think the importance of the email listing. And I was considering that like maybe social media. And for me, the high was like, it's not social media, and how important it is to build your business or the protocol or the program that we want to launch.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is important. Yeah, those two things are foundational. Those two things. Yeah, get those working first. Get your email list working and get some presence on, whether you're building a group or a community or someplace where people can have a sense of belonging online. I personally like Facebook groups because Facebook does it the best, and people are on Facebook more than they're on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Pinterest, any of the other places other than YouTube and Facebook.
And
You
already told me. What is your social, sorry, maybe myself. What is your social media favorite tool?
Facebook.
Like Facebook.
Facebook groups. Okay. Facebook groups. That's my favorite. So in order to do that, you do have to set up your personal profile, but then Facebook groups is where you can build and grow your business.
Oh, okay.
Right. Those two. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Heike, what about you?
For sure, the email list.
The email list, that's something that you learned today?
Yes, for sure. And then obviously I need to prepare for that talk I'll give in 3 weeks' time. I need to really nail that one.
Yes.
So I'll be preparing that most of the weekend.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. Amazing. Maria, did you have anything that you wanted to share? No? Yes? I don't think she's with us. Okay, no problem. Then I will look forward to seeing you guys in the Facebook group. If you're not already in my Facebook group, I would love to have you there, because you are going to see, weekly trainings, lives that I do that are going to teach you how to build and grow your holistic business to your first 6 figures and then scale into multiple 6 figures. And it's fun just to be part of something and to be around people that you know are cheering you on and lifting you up. So definitely come join me over there. It's called Holistic Business Abundance. You can just do a Google search on that in Facebook, or click the search bar and find me over there. The link is also in your email, so you should be able to find the Facebook group inside the email as well. All right, ladies, it has been my pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. Reach out to me if you have any questions. For those that are watching the recording, go back to your email, book the Holistic Business Audit with me so that I can support you. You are so welcome, Heike. And then you can also grab the link to get on the waiting list for Email List Accelerator, so we can get that foundational piece of building and growing your business. Remember, it's an offline piece that we really need to get going for you. And I look forward to seeing you guys again. Thanks for being here. Bye, everybody.